We are now going to continue this series with case number 2 of the Mumonkan, or Gateless Gate, called Hyakujo's Fox. This koan is rather long, which is an exception. Usually koans are very short, but this one is very big. So we will only cover a part of it. And we will also cover that then bit by bit. So I will first read the whole text, and then we will get back to it bit by bit. It goes as follows. When Hyakujo delivered a series of Zen talks, an old man always followed the monks to the main hall and listened to him. When the monks left the hall, the old man would also leave. One day, however, he remained behind, and Hyakujo asked him, "Who are you standing before me?" The old man replied, "I am not a human being. In the old days of Kashyapa Buddha, I was a head monk living here on this mountain." One day, a student asked, "Does a man of enlightenment fall under the yoke of causation or not?" I answered, "No, he does not." Since then, I have been doomed to undergo 500 rebirths as a fox. I beg you now to give the turning word to release me from my life as a fox. So tell me, does a man of enlightenment fall under the yoke of causation or not? Hyakujo answered, "He does not ignore causation." No sooner had the old man heard these words than he was enlightened. Making his bows, he said, "I am emancipated from my life as a fox. Thank you, thank you." That's the story. Let's start from the beginning and elaborate bit by bit. So this Hyakujo that this story is about is a Zen teacher, and he was living in a monastery in China in the 8th century. But let me immediately say that this koan, just as any koan, should not be seen as a story that happened long time ago in a faraway country. Each of these stories relates to you, the viewer, and they relate to you in the here and now. So each of these stories should be seen as an invitation for you to introspect, to taste your true nature, to taste your consciousness. So the story is that every time this Hyakujo had a public talk in the monastery, this old man joined the monks to listen to the talk. And when the talk was over, he would leave with the monks and disappear. Then one day he stayed behind. And at that time, Hyakujo asked the pertinent question, "Who are you standing before me?" So the question is to you. What would you have said when Hyakujo asks you that question? Who are you standing before me? Of course, you could answer this question superficially. You may say, "Oh, I'm Mr. Müller," or "I'm Mrs. Schuster," or "I'm born in Linz in 1990. or I'm a social worker, or I'm an English teacher, or I'm a human being, 1 meter 75 tall, 80 kilograms, gray-eyed, bald, etc. But these are just the characteristics of this body-mind. And the question that we always ask ourselves in these meditations and video sessions is whether we are really that thing here. For example, when you're walking in the street somewhere, are you this bag of flesh, blood and bones weighing 80 kilograms walking in the street? Or are you that which is aware of this body? Aware of these body movements, these sense perceptions that go through you, these thoughts that are going through you while walking? So back to our story now. Hyakujo asked this man, this old man, "Who are you standing before me?" And the old man replied, "I am not a human being." Indeed, the term human being is still a concept, is that thing here, the body with its characteristics like male or female, or young or old, or tall or small, or Austrian or Belgian. So don't see yourself as that thing. What I am is what is aware of all these characteristics. So I am not truly a human being. I am that which is aware of the human being. So back to the story. Hyakujo asked, "Who are you standing before me?" And the old man replied, "I'm not a human being." The old man continued, "In the old days of Kashyapa Buddha, I was a head monk living here on this mountain." So I need to give you a little clarification here. We have to stop the story again. Kashyapa Buddha is actually one of the Buddhas that came before Shakyamuni Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha is the historical Buddha who lived 5th century before Christ. And Kashyapa Buddha was the one before that. We don't know exactly how long, how many years before. It could be a few thousand years ago, who knows. So a few thousand years ago, this old man was on that same mountain as a head monk. And one day, at that time, a student asked him the following question: "Does a man of enlightenment fall under the yoke of causation or not?" And the old man answered, "No, he does not." Anyway, let's focus a little bit on this. What do they mean by the law of causation? You all know about it. For example, we have the physical laws of nature. If I take this object here and I open my hand, the object will fall. So, cause and effect. Or another example, if you go to the casino and you are not careful, you may lose a lot of money. Go to the casino is the cause, the effect is to lose the money. Or if you smoke and drink a lot, it may affect your health in general. Again, cause and effect. And a final example, if you do wrong to someone, you steal or you kill or you do something really wrong, these things will cause an effect. So that was a cause effect. The effect would be that whoever is a victim will take revenge, and so you will suffer later on. We can go on and on. You get an idea on what is meant here by cause and effect. What is said in Buddhism and in Indian doctrines is that someone who has enlightenment, someone who doesn't take himself anymore for this body-mind, that he transcends cause and effect. You can find that in many scriptures. That someone transcends life and death, it says. That someone transcends good and bad, male and female, human or not human. How to understand this? It's not only a matter of what it says in the scriptures, but also a matter of experience. So to understand this, let us have a closer look through one of my preferred metaphors from the Indian Advaita tradition. And the metaphor is the one related to the wave and ocean water. If you take yourself as this body-mind here, it is comparable to a wave in the ocean. And if you only identify with this wave, its shape, its height, its salinity, its movements, then in that case, the wave really truly falls under the yoke of cause and effect. Indeed, its shape, its height, etc., they will all be influenced by the wind, by the currents, by neighboring waves, etc. However, when you come to the realization that you are not this thing here, but that you are the ocean water, that you are consciousness, that you are that which is aware of the body-mind, then you are no longer under the yoke of cause and effect. Because water is water anyway. Irrespective of elements such as wind or currents, etc., your water can be moved around from A to B, but it's no problem. It's all water anyway. So you are then transcending these laws of cause and effect in a way. So, our old man just repeats this wisdom in the story. And he says that one can find in the scriptures, and what he also lived as ocean water, that an enlightened man doesn't fall under the yoke of cause and effect. However, when he says that, bang! Since then, he says, he has been doomed to undergo 500 rebirths as a fox. Oh, that sounds terrible. Why was he punished? He just said something that was in the scriptures, that he felt is a living experience, and yet he has to live 500 reincarnations of the life of a fox. So the story is not finished, it continues. I beg you, the old man says, now to give the turning word for me, to release me from my life as a fox. So tell me, he asks the same question to Hyakujo, tell me, does a man of enlightenment fall under the yoke of causation or not? Hyakujo answered, he does not ignore causation. No sooner had the old man heard these words, he was enlightened. Making his bows, he said, I am now emancipated from my life as a fox. Thank you, thank you. So suddenly, with these few words, the old man's mind opened up and said, that's it. That's the answer. I got it. And you released me from my punishment of living the life of a fox. Let us go back to our metaphor to explain what exactly happened here. Because a true man of wisdom is neither a wave nor ocean, the one who is in playful samadhi, in the middle of daily life, has actually both of these aspects simultaneously. He is at the same time wave and ocean, which are two aspects of his beings. So it's like the two sides of one hand. You have the palm and you have the back, yet it's still one hand, right? So viewed from his body-mind aspect, he's under the yoke of cause and effect, and he cannot ignore it. But viewed from his awareness or ocean water aspect, he is completely free from cause and effect. And as such, one can say from such a person, from such a truly wise person, that he doesn't ignore cause and effect, yet simultaneously he is free as a bird. If you can, take some time after this video to meditate for a while. And when you do that, first feel yourself as this body-mind, as this wave bound by cause and effect. Then, secondly, feel the aware space in which your body-mind appears. Feel like being the ocean rather than the wave. And feel that being the ocean, you are free from cause and effect. And then last but not least, do the exercise again with the both aspects of one hand, palm and back. You are both the wave, both the ocean. You are actually one, the aware space in which the body-mind appears as one. Thank you very much, and I look forward to our next video with case 3 of the Mumonkan.